Do you have a Hyundai with a harsh steering clunk? Sounds something like this? Well, we're going to fix that today. Hi, I'm Kyle with DIY Auto Homeschool, and I'm sitting in a 2013 Hyundai Elantra GT. And the issue we're going to be looking at today, this noise we just heard, it is with Hyundai's electronic power steering system, or MDPS, so that's what they call it, I think. But, excuse me. And like any traditional system, this is still mechanically linked down to the steering linkage. It goes all the way through the column, down into the rack, and out through the inner and outer tie rod ends. And when you hear this, you think, oh, well, there's like a linkage or a joint or something that's loose. But the way you're going to differentiate between the issue we'll address today and your typical loose inner or outer tie rod joint or end is, we'll shut the vehicle off, right? And now you don't have that shifting. Turn the vehicle back on, and there it is. And that's not just simply because, oh, you've got power steering and then you can force it. If you had a joint that was making that much noise, anything going into the rack, like where the rack and pinion gear meet, or the inner tie rod ends or outer tie rod ends, you'd still hear that or feel that. And you could even jack the front of these vehicles up and run this back and forth, and without the car on, you would not feel it. Now, the reason for that is that where this goes down through the column, you know, it's got a sensor in there, and the old ones were optical sensors, and I don't know if the new ones still are, but it's kind of irrelevant. It senses when you start to turn this wheel. If you turn it, it can tell if you're turning it left, if you're turning it right. It's got a little torsion sensor built in that can tell how hard it's being turned, how quick it's being turned. And then it's got a computer that uses all that input along with vehicle speed and engine speed to determine how much assist you need, how much help you need. And it's got a motor that is kind of splined on to a gear that will move and assist your turning. It won't turn for you, though if it needed to, it has the ability to do that. But so what happens is that motor, where it mounts to the column, because that's like a metal gear and a metal gear, and they've got to run it back and forth, they do not want to put that metal on metal because it would be a very harsh engagement. It'd probably make a lot of noise. It'd wear out very quickly. So what they put is a little rubber, like a star-shaped coupler in there to help cut down on the noise. Well, give it a little bit of time, a little bit of wear, steering back and forth, that coupler gives out, breaks down, tears apart, and then you get those gears. You got one gear that would be there and one that's kind of offset with that coupler in between them. Now that coupler is broken and those gears just want to hit each other, and that's that noise you hear. And that's why you don't hear it when the car is off. You can take this and you can kind of hear some noise of just the column moving, but you don't hear that same clunking noise, because that clunking is coming when that system is active and it's trying to run that motor back and forth to assist your steering. So this is not a hard job. Let's take a look at the tools you're going to need to get it done. Alright, for this job you don't need a whole lot of tools. Regular number 2 Phillips. You want a stubby number 2 Phillips. A little flathead, and we won't be using this for screws. I'll show you what we'll use that for. A 14 millimeter, a 12 millimeter, and a 10 millimeter. These could all be 3/8 if you wanted them to. I just happen to have, just happen to have my 10 millimeter on my 1/4 inch, my 12 and 14 on my 3/8. You will need a T30 Torx. Where's that at? T30 for the Torx, and that's to pull the motor off. And then you will need a pair of needle nose pliers. This can be either this kind of socket or just a Torx screwdriver or a bit on a small little 1/4 inch driver, whatever you want, but you need Torx 30. And this should be about all of the tools you need. You can have, you know, a couple other little things if you, some things if you'd rather use like a flat blade, bigger one, or for certain things. But this, you can, if you have these tools right here, you can do this job. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to stress to you about this repair is do not be intimidated by this. For a lot of people who are just beginning, kind of amateurs, working on their own stuff, it can be intimidating to know that you're going to drop a steering column out of a vehicle, and you are going to be dealing with airbag connections. Nothing at all to be scared about. Just make sure you follow the process. I will tell you, anytime you mess with the airbag system, especially if you're not familiar with it, it is best to either depower the airbag system itself or to just pull the negative battery cable, depower the whole vehicle, and wait usually 20 minutes. That will let any capacitors in the airbag system discharge. It'll let any reserve charge get dissipated. So that safety time is because some of these systems are designed to retain enough power to deploy an airbag, so that if something were to happen in an accident where you lost battery power but you had a secondary impact and it needed to deploy an airbag, some of them are designed to be able to do that. It's just an abundance of caution. Don't be nervous, don't be scared, just follow the steps. If you pull the negative battery cable and you let the vehicle set for 20 minutes, you have nothing to be worried about when it comes to the airbags. This vehicle does have the knee bolster airbag, and that is the airbag that we'll actually have to remove. Super simple, nothing to get concerned about. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to take the steering shroud off. We're going to take the knee bolster and that off, and like I said, it's not a difficult repair. Watch the video all the way through and then you can do this. The slightest amount of mechanical capability, you guys can do this repair. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you need to do before you disconnect the battery cable is we'll start the vehicle, and this one is just a push button start. So we're going to start the vehicle, take the steering wheel, turn it to the left like that, take this screw out, and once you take that screw out, turn it to the right and take that screw out. You want to do this before you disconnect the battery, just because you want to have the power steering to help you turn that wheel, because you don't want to crank this without that power steering. So let's get that done. Okay, there's one other screw for the steering column shroud that you want to take off, and it is right on the bottom of it, and it is super easy to get. We'll go ahead and do that before we disconnect the battery. It is this screw right here. It is exceedingly difficult to put a camera that can see it and then also be able to see it, but that screw, and then it's best if you keep screws that go to the same things together, so I keep them together. Alright, the last thing you want to do before you go ahead and disconnect that battery cable is grab yourself a piece of paper and a pen and write down the radio presets. The last thing someone wants when they get their car back from you, or if you're working on your own car, just so you can remember. But the last thing anybody wants is to get their car back and all their radio presets are gone. So take the time real quick, write them down. Another little tip, you write the radio stations down. I put an asterisk next to the station that it was on when they dropped it off. That way, you not only get the stations back in there, You get it right back on the exact same station it was when they dropped it off. Best case scenario, ideally, customer comes to pick their car up after they dropped it off with you. It's like it was never even gone. Like, it's exactly the same as when they dropped it off. Nothing changed. I know you can explain to them, hey, we had to disconnect the battery, lost your presets, but it just takes a second to write them down. Okay, so negative battery cable, we'll just loosen that up. Maybe we'll loosen that up some more. Pull it off, and it's good. Take a rag, I got these red rags, wrap it in that, and then just set it off where you're pretty sure it won't pop back down and come in contact with it, and that's just to be safe, so that if it did fall, it won't make contact and re-energize the system. So, let's carry on. Okay, so next, battery's been disconnected. We've waited the time frame. So, right here, there is a screw. This is straight down from where your start button's at. There's a screw here, and there's a couple screws on this side. So, we'll start off, take this screw out. And then we'll get these. And the way we're going to address these is this panel right here labeled Fuse OBD. That's because you've got fuses back there, and it's where the onboard diagnostics port is at, or the DLC. So what you'll do is pull that off, and you reach behind here, and this cover, you want to push it out, and you can just stick your fingers back there. Oop, or your thumb maybe, it's stronger. And that just pushes right out. It's got these plastic clips that hold it in. Set that off to the side. When we're pulling off little pieces like that, I tend to set them in the passenger seat. And then it's this screw right here and this screw right here. All right. Okay, so we're gonna pull this panel off. Now, this panel, if you were to pull it off, remember, it doesn't come off straight out, like down at the angle it's set in at. It actually, when it clips on going straight back. So those clips that you're going to be pulling out, because they're just like the clips on that side piece that came out, they are not angled straight out from the surface, they're angled back like that. So don't pull down, you're going to pull forward like you're pulling straight back towards the driver's seat. And you can kind of grab the side here right next to where you pull the screws and just pull that, and that'll start to loosen that. Grab the bottom edge. Now you're not pulling this airbag piece off, just the bottom edge here, and you can get straight out like that. And these right here, I'm going to tell you, they're always the ones that are a pain. They don't want to let go. But whatever you do, don't get frustrated and just start yanking on this. You'll stress and bend this panel, and that's no good. Then you got to replace the panel. There we go. Whew. So, see, these yellow clips, they kind of come out at that angle, so you want to pull straight forward. And then the last thing we're going to do for this panel is the DLC right here. It just clips onto this panel, and we'll go ahead and pull it off. So you've got the DLC right here, and ideally what you should be able to do is go on these tabs on the back and squeeze them in and pull it out, but it never works out that way. It never does. You end up having to go to the front of it, and you can see where these little tabs kind of clip on and hold it in, and then you've got to just kind of push that in. And you can be very, very careful if you do it. Use a flathead, or if you use a Phillips, be very careful. Just lightly push on it to push that tab in. and then it'll come out. And then pull this panel out, and we'll carry on with the repair. Set that over with your other piece. So now that we've got that panel off, this lower steering column shroud, you just drop this down, and that loosens up the tilt and telescoping steering. But just kind of set your fingers behind on this open area, brace the top, and just they pop apart. They just kind of loosely clip together, and then this will come off. You got that panel off, set it off with your other ones, and now we're going to come down here and attack this airbag. Alright, so the airbag, very simple. You got 4 fasteners, 4 nuts, 1, 2, 3, and 4 that hold it on. And just like you would anything, you just break those loose. Ooh, don't drop it. Make sure you keep track of them and where you set them so you know what goes to what, though we are not going to have a crazy amount of fasteners to be keeping track of for this particular job, but always a good habit to get into. Just make sure you know where they are. So now that those are out, just take the airbag and it'll slide right off of those, and then don't let it fall because you got this connector. Now, unlike many connectors, you don't just squeeze this down and then it comes off. The way you'll do this is these are set up so that to pull it off, your release is actually going to be pulling away from the connector. So you'll just pull this release away from the connector, and then that'll unplug. Now, when you take these airbags, set them down with the airbag face facing up. These are designed in such a way, even if it were to accidentally deploy, it doesn't put a lot of force back on this bottom plate. You'd set this, you could hang this from a rope, and when this airbag went off, it wouldn't like take off swinging one way. It's crazy how they design these. But if you lay this face down, like some people would tend to do, and something were to happen and that airbag were to go off, then it would propel, because the airbag expands out the front, it would propel this upwards and you could get hurt. But we're not going to have it deploy. It's not going to happen. But just to be safe, always set them down like that. Okay, so this is what it looks like underneath here once you've got this airbag out, this panel, and the steering shroud off. First thing we're going to do, this screw right here, it supports and holds in this vent for the floor. So we'll just take this screw out and again set it where you'll remember. It was longer than I thought. And then this literally just pulls out. It's got that shape. It kind of sits up against inside. You can see easily where it goes. That just comes out and it goes with our ever-growing pile of parts. Now, for the electronic steering portion of this cable right here, with the 2 big wires, you'll need to unplug it. And then this one that comes down here, this front one that comes to the module here, it's got this little retaining tab. They can come out or just come back. Pull that one out and then it pushes up and unplugs. For the power steering portion of this, that should be all the connectors you have to replace, or not replace, but disconnect. This plug just comes up in a little harness, clips in right here, all of which is going to drop, and then goes into the module. On the other side of the module, you have your inputs and outputs that go up to the torque sensor, the angle sensor, and all that. But all of this will come as one unit down when we drop it. So this plug right here and this plug for the steering are all you have to disconnect. Now there are more up here on the front of the column, and I'll show you right now what those are that you have to disconnect. Okay, on the underside of the column, and I hate going freehand like this because I prefer steady shots, but this right here, which goes to your blinker and your headlight switch, the multi-function switch, you need to unplug that. This smaller one right here, unplug it. This is also a airbag connector, so similar to the way the other one did. Let me see if I can get you a better shot of it. It is going to push out away in order to disconnect, and then we have one more right here that we will grab and disconnect. And then right here is a tab that holds these on. We do not just grab this harness and rip that out. That's not the way to do this. I'll show you how to take care of that. So that's where that clip comes through, and it's got these two little tabs that kind of stick out. And all you got to do is come in with your needle nose pliers and just squeeze both sides of that, and it'll let it come right back through that hole. So now you'll take this wire that you just pulled from the under the steering column, this one, all of these, and just kind of push them back out. Failed. You'll just push them back out of the way so that when we unbolt this column, we can take this column without anything holding it up and just drop it down. It'll have to kind of turn a little to go past this brake pedal, and then we'll access the top of it where that motor is. We'll pull that motor off and show you what we're doing. But to drop this column, I'll show you right here on the bottom side. There is a nut right here and right here, and those are directly underneath it, right behind this front of the dash. These are 12 millimeter, and there is a bolt on the back that it pivots on, and it's up inside here. I'm going to do my best to show you where that is and how you're going to reach it, because that's one of the more tricky ones, but it's not that bad. The thing is that this column has that bolt it pivots on, and it's got a little lip in the back that sits through a hole in one of the brackets, so you can't just like drop it straight down. You have to pull that bolt out and then pull these nuts, and it'll come down, but it'll have to move forward to come out. So let me see if I can get you a good view of those. Okay. Sorry, this is pretty tight quarters around here, but if you look down here, you know, the brake pedal and the gas pedal right here, and then this control module, if you stick your hand up, let me move that, just past the control module, or just kind of the back edge of it up and in, that is where this fastener is at that we need to disconnect. And we'll take our ratchet and we'll put it on there. And it'll be a pain. Really trying not to bust my knuckles. Let's see if we can just spin that out now. As you can see right here, that little edge, sometimes they get these, this lock washer can kind of roll up metal on that washer. Don't cut your finger with that washer, because that little edge will probably be sharp. So this bolt will just come out. Maybe. May have to take a little persuasion. Okay, so now you see how it's kind of loose. That tab that I'm talking about is back here. You can't see it, and I don't even know if I could show you, but you'll see it when we drop it down. There's a tab on the body of this steering column, and it goes through a little hole in the bracket, and it kind of rests on there. That's actually what that's hitting when you kind of rock that down like that. So what we need to do is pull the bolts that are right up here, or the nuts that are right up here, and then this column can come down and out of the way. Okay, so I'd had that set up there just to be out of the way. Push that back off to the side, that wiring harness. Make sure your wires are out of the way so they're not going to get caught up, just like we showed before. And then we will take our 12 millimeter socket on our ratchet, these two nuts right here, and we'll break them loose. Now, be ready for this when you can pull one of them off, whichever you can kind of get a better grip on, whichever way. Hold the steering wheel up, pull one off, and then be ready to drop one, because as soon as it's free, the steering column's coming down and it's coming out. So you don't want to let it fall. Be ready to grab it. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It's not that bad. It'll tilt down and it'll kind of rotate and sit. Oop. It is still connected. Let me get you a better view. All right, as you can see, it's still connected to the intermediate shaft, so we don't have any fear of losing our steering position. But this motor right here that's on top is the motor we're going to be pulling, and it is a Torx 30 to pull that motor off. And then you are not taking these fasteners off. You're taking these fasteners off. These are going to be, are they security Torx? I don't think so. These are the fasteners you're taking off because you want to pull the motor up. This will pull the case of the motor off of the motor. You don't want to do that. So let's get set up for that. I want to take the chance to show you when we put it back up, you'll see it. This is that tab I was talking about that sits off the back of this steering column, and that is the hole that it has to sit in. So it kind of has to tab up into it and then lift up. So bear that in mind when we're going back together with this. Okay, so here's the motor that we're going to be pulling up. Now, my camera didn't record just a second of it, but there's a bolt here in the back that I just took my Torx 30, put it around the back, and loosened it up. But we'll get the front ones here out. Just the same way, we may drop the extension for the ones on the front just because room is crowded. Hold it down in there so you don't strip it. That one's loose. Alright, so those should be loose. You guys ready for this? All this fuss over a little $9 or $10, whatever it is, rubber piece. I'm not gonna say crap design, whatever. I don't know that I could have designed a better system, but you see the teeth in there? Let me get you a better shot of this. Okay, so as you can see, you got all this junk from that messed up plastic, rubber, whatever junk that they put in there. So we're just going to pull it out, peel it out. If you have to use this, Don't gouge, don't pry, don't scrape. Just use it to kind of pull off and move around some of this stuff. For those of you who work in the industry, in the field, that are used to using brake clean to clean stuff, try to avoid putting brake clean on this, just because you don't want to get brake clean down inside all that stuff. And here I am leaving the red fuzzies from a red rag on it. You want to make sure it's cleaned off, and you want to make sure the motor that goes on it is free of debris too. It's not horrible, it's kind of a pain, but we're just gonna make sure that everything we can get off is off. Oh, yeah, okay. And this piece, the replacement piece, does not have a top or a bottom. It just sets in there like that. And then this piece will come back over top of it. You want to kind of try to make sure it's going to line up. You'll see that it only has a certain place, a way it can line up there. It slid in. Okay, and so now take these bolts and start all of them before you tighten any one of them down. A good rule of thumb with anything that has multiple bolts holding it in. Start all of them before any one gets tightened all the way down. Let's go ahead and run these down. Alright, now to go put these back on, you don't have to be He-Man. You're just snugging them up pretty good. You want them about as tight as they were when they came off. Good rule of thumb. Yes, there's a torque spec, and I don't have the torque spec, but I put quite a few of these on with no torque specs. Just what it is. So that's on. Let's get a better view and let's start putting this back together. You can take a light piece of tape, masking tape, or I'm using electrical tape, but masking tape would probably be better, just to kind of stick on that and have it come right off and not hold it up out of the way. So that'll just kind of make this process a little bit simpler. This column never came off, so it's you don't have to worry about it being, you know, misaligned or out of whack. You're just going to pick this up, keep the steering wheel straight up and down, and we're going to set that tab back in that hole. And as we do, and I'm explaining this to you because I may have trouble explaining it while I'm doing it. We're going to stick that tab in that hole, push it up onto these, and have, oh look at that, my tape gave out, go figure, and have one of these nuts available in your hand ready, because you just got to get one of them started on a couple threads. It'll hold it up. So here we go. I'm going to start off like this and then transition into laying underneath of it. It's going to roll into position. There we go. And now I'm kind of working my way onto the floor underneath it. I've got it in my hands, and I want to make sure that tab goes in on the back, and then goes over these studs, And once I do, get one of these started. Now I don't have to worry about that falling. Oh, but my hat came off. Just like I said on the motor, don't tighten them all down until you got them all started. You can run these down to where they're almost snug, just so it doesn't move around too much. But you need a little bit of play, because you still got to put that one back in. Let's see if we can get that same view again and go back in with this. Okay, that's probably the best I can do. See, there's our hole. We got the washer and the lock nut on there. And you kind of wiggle this till you find the hole. And then you got to find the right angle to get it in there. There. And once it sinks about that much, you should be able to take your ratchet do this by hand like this, because my goodness, it would be horrible to try to run this all the way down, and I don't think I have the threads yet. Is that the threads? Nope. Nope. I haven't even got the threads yet. Alright, so we'll use the ratchet in this case, because what I'll do is I'll put the ratchet on there, and I'll put pressure, I don't know if you can see, pressure from the back, and shake this up and down and kind of try to turn it at the same time. I don't think that's in. It's close. Oh no, that might be it. Let's see. I'm sorry, it's not focusing like I'd like it there. Going in? Oh goodness, I don't even think it's going in. No, it's got to be going in if it looks like it is. There you go. Nice and snug. Oh goodness, my hair. Now, let's tighten or put these or tighten these nuts back down that are on the bottom side of the steering column here. Get that out of there, because that's what you guys were just looking through. We'll tighten these down. Alright, now, where you took this off from, I don't want that tape to come off all the way off. Clip it back in. Each of these, you guys, they only fit in one, and you guys should, they kind of form back to where they go. So you guys should be able to pretty easily and quickly determine how those plug in. Nice and quick for that one. Pull your tape off so it doesn't sit on the dash any longer than it has to. Now, we've got that through bolt tightened back down. We got these two nuts tightened back down. It's a steering column back in. We want to plug it in before we go much further. Main power to it, and then this input right here. And then we're going to start piecing the outside of this back together. First things first, that shape, you can see it sits right there plain as day, because this, you can see where the screw hole goes, where it has to go, and that's super easy just to set up in place and tighten back down. Now you don't want to super strong tighten this, it's just going into plastic. Now we'll go ahead, before we start putting the airbag back on and that knee bolster trim area back on, we'll go ahead and put the bottom side of the steering shroud back in, because this little lip on it kind of sits back and behind there. So drop that down just to get it around that hole easy, and then push it up against the bottom side of the steering. Clip that all back together. Now it'll just kind of clip there and stay. We can take the one screw and put it back in. That'll hold this up and in place mostly while we put the rest of this back together, and then we can go put those two behind the steering wheel back in. So now that that's in, here's the important part about the airbag. Now on the airbag, if you guys remember, we'll go ahead and set it up on its studs. Silly me. Okay, we'll set it up on its studs, and if you look at the metal, let me get you a different view here. If you look at the metal on here, you will see where that washer sat, and since this is part of a trim panel, we want to line that up right where it was on that same metal spot. Just snug it a little, and then we'll come over here, and we want to do the exact same on this. Make sure that when it gets back together, it's going to sit against that metal, just the warrior spot, just like it did before. That's how we'll make sure our panel lines up. Yeah, so just make sure those line up like they're supposed to. And for those of you who are paying more attention than me, you'll realize that this nut over here on this side, I didn't even need to take off. I wasn't even paying attention. That one doesn't position it. It actually just bolts itself to the bracket that also came out with it. So that nut didn't even need to come off. Just these three. Make sure those are lined up. Tighten down, tighten down, tighten down. Do not forget to plug this back in. Alright? And then when we put that next panel on, don't forget the DLC needs to go on there. So we'll take this, and the DLC will clip in just like that, and then all these yellow tabs will go back in those holes, and it fits perfectly around that airbag. Then we'll take these three and go to this side, put these two in, Then the last one you have to put in is this one right here. I'm using my stubby even though I don't need to, but we can lock that back in place. Excuse me. The side panel here, you'll just, if you set this edge right here, just back behind that weather stripping, and then line all the tabs up, it'll just push right in. Super simple. Then this piece goes right back in there, and that's that. Now we got everything plugged back in, everything hooked back together. We can go ahead, hook the battery back up, get the power steering back on, turn this wheel, put those 2 screws in. All right, go ahead, pull this off, set this back on there, and then tighten it back down. These are fun, but anyway, once you get this tightened back down, then you are good to go. Alright. Okay, so now that you know you got everything put back together, exactly how it goes, everything that needs to be plugged in is plugged in, you're safe to go ahead and start the vehicle. And then you'll find out that you hit the wiper switch. Anyway, we still got power steering, but you guys notice something? You don't hear that clunk, 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 clunk. We fixed it. You fixed it. I told you, you could do this job. It's not that hard. Screw back in. Oh, make sure it's clipped together. Second screw back in. And that's that. Now I've got to go program the stereo stations back in, set the time, but thank you guys for taking the time to sit through the video. I really hope that it helped you. I hope if you have this problem, which is really common, that this helps you get it taken care of. It can be intimidating for some new people, but I hope this really helped you out. I hope you were able to get it taken care of for just the 10 bucks in parts and maybe a couple tools. You guys have a good weekend. It's a Labor Day weekend here where I'm making this, but I will see you guys in the next video, and we'll keep on learning. Thank you. Quick outro. For those of you that noticed, I completely missed it, and I remembered when it happened. I told myself not to forget it. That second little, or that blue clip on that clip, or that plug-in to right where the main power goes in, that came all the way out, and they come all the way out sometimes. Sometimes they just come out a little bit. I did not get that put back in. So what I'm going to do now is I got to go take that knee bolster back off to get up underneath there and get that clip put back in. Didn't want you guys to think I forgot to do that. Have a good day.